Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm Taylor Phillips, and welcome to Taylor's Detroit Sports Show. Taylor's Detroit Sports Show post-game Saturday, April 18th, 2015 at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. I decided to broadcast this podcast, this episode at 11:30 instead of 11 o'clock because I was working on some portion of a paper. A final paper, which is due Wednesday. I've done 4 episodes. I got 2 episodes to go. I'm doing a media critique analysis on CSI Miami Season 8, episodes 16 through 21. That is for BCA 503 WI, critiquing mass media inside Moore Hall, the School of Broadcast and Cinematic Arts at Central Michigan University. And I have another semester to go before I graduate. Now let's get on with those game recaps. Lightning crushed the Red Wings 5-1 in Game 2 of the Atlantic Division semifinals at Amalie Arena to even up the series at 1 game apiece. Scoring summary: Tyler Johnson opened it up with a power play goal from Nikita Nesterov and Kucherov on the power play at 3:05 into the game. That made it 1-0 Lightning, and that's how the first period would end. By the way, you can call in at 646-478-4837. That is 646-478-4837. You can also text message with your name, city, and state at 231-429-3668. That is 231-429-3668. Try my chat window again one more time. Okay, wait. Okay. Going on to the second period, Peter Mrazek would give up 3 more goals to Alex Killorn and Andre's sister and Tyler Johnson, who scored his second of the game. Valtteri Filppula would get an assist on the Suster goal. Steven Stamkos and Ryan Callahan would get assists on the Killorn goal. Lightning would lead 4-0 after 2 periods. And then Tomas Tatar put the Wings on the board in the third period at 5:49 from Kyle Quincy and Gustav Nyquist. But Valtteri Filppula, the former Red Wing, would put the dagger in the heart on the power play from Stamkos and Nesterov at 15:26. At 15:26, that would be 4:34 left in the regulation. The Lightning would win 5-1. Mike Babcock said the team came out and played well and energetic, but they turned the puck over too many times, especially in the neutral zone, and too many defensive breakdowns, causing unforced turnovers, which proves my point of my status earlier on Facebook and Twitter that it's not all Mrazek's fault. See, he gave up 4 goals on 18 shots, but the Red Wings committed 6 more penalties in Game 2 compared to the 7 that they committed in Game 1. They're just having trouble staying out of the penalty box. 13 penalty minutes in 2 games. The Lightning did a much better job on their power play. The Lightning outshot the Red Wings 7-6 after 1 period and 30-24 total. The Lightning blocked 21 shots and the Red Wings only blocked 10. As Babcock mentioned, the defensive breakdowns not only led to turnovers, but also either failing attempts or refusals to block shots in their own defensive zone. And that's not necessarily. If you think I'm going to call that Bush League, you're wrong. It's just being afraid to block a shot. The Wings won 29 faceoffs. The Lightning won 23. That's one of the advantages for the Wings that they need to carry over to Game 3 at Joe Louis Arena. The Wings were 0 for 4, however, on the power play. Each team committed 6 penalties today. The Lightning were 2 for 4 on their power play. The Wings were 0 for 4. The Wings got one power play goal. Got one power play goal last night last Thursday night in Game 1 from Pavel Datsyuk, who scored 2 goals. I still think Peter Mrazek is the number 1 goaltender for the Red Wings because he still played better than Jimmy Howard. I haven't taken a look at the highlights yet, but I promise I will. When this podcast ends. So the series is tied at 1. Mrazek is anxious to get back in net. Jimmy Howard would replace Mrazek. Despite Jimmy Howard replacing Mrazek and playing the 3rd period, Howard would still give a power play goal on a rebound corralled by his former teammate Valtteri Filppula on the power play, who put it home. I don't think that power play goal was all Howard's fault either, because there were a couple breakdowns by the Red Wings penalty killing unit as well, in addition to breakdowns on defense. They have got to clean those up. They have got to play better defensively and block more shots and quit chickening out. Letting those shots go through to the goaltender. The objective as a defenseman when under attack, the objective when you're under when the opposing team is on the attack is to block the shot, not even let it go through to the goaltender. And don't just stand your ground and hope it hits you, because chances are it's likely to go past you while you're only screening the goaltender, and it might go past the goaltender as well. The Red Wings have had a lot of those defensive breakdowns, a lot of defensive breakdowns all season, including those kind of defensive breakdowns right there. I've seen it lots of times by the Red Wings all season. Don't tell me I did not see it. Please. I beg you not to judge my intelligence.
Out of your mind.
Game 3 is Tuesday at 7 o'clock on Fox Sports Detroit and NBCSN. Game 4 is Thursday on Fox Sports Detroit and NBCSN at 7. So you tell me, call it 646-478-4837. Who will take games 3 and 4? And also want your name, city, and state while you call. Also text message with your name, city, and state at 231-429-3668. Taking a look at other NHL scores, NHL Stanley Cup playoff scores here. We have one Stanley Cup playoff game in progress in the Pacific Division. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. The Jets are in the Central Division, aren't they? I'll still call it the Pacific Division Finals anyway, because the Jets are taking on the Ducks and the Canucks are taking on the Flames in separate series. So yeah, the Winnipeg Jets are in the Central Division. So it's a non-division. It is an interdivision conference quarterfinal series between the Jets and Ducks. There is no score in Game 2 at Honda Center. After 2 periods of play. In fact, actually, after 1 period of play. The second period already got underway. Just under 17 minutes to go in that second period. Still goalless in Anaheim. The St. Louis Blues beat the Minnesota Wild 4-1 to even that series at 1. The Pittsburgh Penguins beat the New York Rangers 4-3 to even that series at 1. Canadians take a 2-0. The Montreal Canadiens have already taken a 2-0 series lead to Ottawa. The Washington Capitals and New York Islanders are tied at 1 in that series. Predators and Blackhawks tied at 1 as well. Predators smashed the Blackhawks 6-2 in Game 2 after the Blackhawks came back from down 3-0 to win in overtime and double overtime 4-3. Game 2 between the Jets and Ducks is seen on NBCSN if you want to view it. Let's go ahead and move on to the Tigers. Tigers also get routed by the White Sox of Chicago, the Chicago White Sox, 12-3 at Comerica Park. Anibal Sanchez gave up 9 earned runs, including a grand slam. In the 4th inning, cap off a 7-run 4th inning. Off the bat of Jose Abreu. Tigers struck first on a Miguel Cabrera RBI single, but The White Sox scored 4 runs in the third on a Melky Cabrera RBI double and an Adam LaRoche 3-run homer. They would add 7 more on a Melky Cabrera RBI single, the Abreu slam, a Connor Gillespie RBI single, and an Alexei Ramirez RBI sacrifice fly. Tigers would add another run on a homer by J.D. Martinez. White Sox would answer back with an RBI double off the bat of Adam LaRoche. Tigers would add 1 more to close the scoring with an RBI single off the bat of Nick Castellanos. Come on, load. Just give it 1 minute here. Okay. Anibal Sanchez took an ugly loss, going 3 1/3 innings, giving up the 9 earned runs on 9 hits, walking 2 and striking out 2. He gave up 2 home runs. Blaine Hardy would give up the other 3 earned runs in an inning and a third on 5 hits and 1 walk, no strikeouts. His ERA rises to 12.46. Anibal Sanchez's total ERA is 7.71. See, so last Monday, Anibal Sanchez got roughed up for 5 runs against the Pirates in Pittsburgh. And then earlier today, he took a whopping 9 runs against at home against the Chicago White Sox. He's given up 14 runs in his last 2 games after pitching shutout baseball in the opening series against the Minnesota Twins. From what I can tell, at least Sanchez is good at home as usual, just not as good on the road. I don't have any reason to tell why, but Anibal Sanchez has had quite a few injuries in his history as a Major League Baseball starting pitcher, which makes it worse. He's a good pitcher, but he's also been a concern at times for the Tigers. Not only of injuries, but stats against him. Angel Nesbitt, Tom Gorzolani, Al Albuquerque, and Java Chamberlain all pitched in relief and did not allow a run. Only gave up 3 hits. Nesbitt, Gorzolani, and Chamberlain each have an ERA of 0s, while Al Albuquerque's ERA is 2.70. Jose Quintana will take on Shane Green in the rubber game, in the rubber finale of this series. Green is 2-0 with an ERA of zeros, while Quintana is 1-0, also unbeaten, yet with an ERA of 4.09. I have to admit, Jose Iglesias has been on fire with his bat, especially at home. He got another single. Chris Veniti from MLB.com writes, headlines, Green looks to make history versus Quintana in finale. The Tigers and White Sox wrap up their 3-game series at Comerica Park on Sunday as Detroit looks to create more distance between the teams in the American League Central Division standings. The Tigers will send right-hander Shane Green to the mound looking for his 3rd win of the season, while Chicago will counter a lefty Jose Quintana. 3 things to know about the game. Green has a chance to make Tigers history. He has yet to allow an earned run through 2 starts, and no Detroit pitcher has ever gone 3 starts into a season without allowing an earned run. Green pitched 8 scoreless innings in Pittsburgh in his most recent outing. That was in the 2-0 middle game win for the Tigers last Tuesday. Tigers won the 3rd game 1-0 with Alfredo Simon on the mound. Quintana makes his 2nd start this week, having beaten the Indians in Cleveland on Tuesday, but the left-hander will be working on regular rest with the team off on Monday and Thursday. Hector Noesi is being skipped this time through, but he is scheduled to face the Indians on Tuesday. White Sox hitters led the major leagues with a .375 average with runners in scoring position and 2 outs, 9 for 24 entering Saturday. They had 1 double and 1 homer and 10 RBIs with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Those are the 3 things that Tigers fans need to know about the rubber finale of the 3-game set, 108 at Comerica Park on Fox Sports Detroit, and 97 won the ticket in the Detroit Tigers radio network in Southfield. Dan Dickerson and Jim Price on the radio, Mario Impemba and Rod Allen with the call on TV. Then the Tigers start a 4-game series at home against the New York Yankees. First 3 games at 7:08, Thursday's finale at 1:08. That does it for Taylor's Detroit Sports Show on Blog Talk. For Taylor's Detroit Sports Show post-game Saturday, April 18th, 2015, 11:30 p.m. Eastern on Blog Talk Radio. I am Taylor Phillips. Talk to you tomorrow night at 11:30. TTFN, ta-ta for now.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.